Hello and welcome. You are listening to podcast by Me to Connect and Media Way. I am Sue and I will be your host today. We share their story, how they started, their challenges and face, and what helped them to success for their inspiration for the others. So I would like to be introduced for that. Today's special guest is Mr. Atique with us today. So welcome, Mr. Atique.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Atif is a CEO and the lead excellent advisor on Advantix PQC with a goal of empowering business excellence. So thank you, Mr. Atif, to joining here.
You're welcome. Yes, my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. So welcome, Mr. Atif, and then thank you so much for being here, for joining with us today. And then I would like to be asking for a few questions, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So to start off, could you tell us a little about your professional background and the expertise, please, sir?
Okay. My background is all about systems, processes, procedures, policies, governance. And over the period, say about 16, 17 years, I've been working with local organizations, multinationals,
Yes.
and I've grown over my career to develop benchmarks, best practices in normal businesses and let's say specialized activities.
Yes.
So my background is all about developing processes and procedures for organizations to have the optimum results
Yeah.
with profitability and efficiency.
Brilliant, sir. Really inspiring. Thank you. So let me ask a second question. How does Advantix P2C come into the extended, and what was the main purpose behind starting it, sir?
There was a stage in my career where I felt the need, number one, that I have to be independent. And number two, if I'm doing something, I should be doing something meaningful for, let's say, the people who are in need of my professional expertise. So since my background is from processes, I saw that the startups or SMEs, the business owners, when they
Yes.
begin, they do not have a structure.
Yeah.
They just start with an idea, with some investment, and then down the line, 2-3 years, they struggle to basically stabilize and then grow.
Yes.
And most of the businesses, they close down within 2 to 3 years of their inception.
Yeah.
And the only reason was because they do not have a structure, they do not have proper policies and guidelines so that they can sustain those struggles and then hard times in the beginning. So when I started my own, let's say, advisory firm, my focus was to help the startups and SMEs in the way that they have a foundation for their business where they can grow over the period of time. So let's say 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line, and if they want to grow to a bigger, let's say, size, or they want to expand to another country or have another branch, so they have enough foundation for them to build that whole business on top of it. So that's how the Advantix came into form. I acquired a license and
Yes.
then did a little bit of rebranding and then launched in 2019.
Oh, excellent, sir. I did. 1990 started.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So before the Corona
Just-
time.
oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You
Oh,
said
yes.
that well. Yeah. Advising.
I had my plane on the runway ready to take off, and then COVID said stop.
Yes.
So we have seen the hard times.
Yeah,
So,
hard time. Yeah.
alhamdulillah, so far, yes, survived. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Yeah, thank you. And then my third question: what kind of survey? Because there is a study in the background. It's all over. It's trustworthy since 2019. So, what kind of survey does Advantix P2C provided, and which type of business do you usually work with them? Like how you advising, and so please tell, sir.
Okay, so I'll answer the second part first.
Yes.
We have worked across 17 industries.
Sure.
So that includes construction,
Right.
maintenance, let's say restaurants, and then foods and beverage, F&B, trading, manufacturing. So it's a wide range. Within the scope of Dubai, UAE,
Yeah.
we have served most of them. So that's the scope or the expertise what we have.
Yeah.
Now, second part, what services we provide is there are 3 tiers. The first tier is when you are just a beginner.
Yeah.
So you need to formalize your business plan, business strategy, and then you have to work on your business model.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 basics where we help the
Foundation to grow.
The idea how to formalize things, like
Yeah.
what kind of market you are looking at, what kind of customers are appropriate for you, where you are pitching, what are you pitching, and all those different 9 basically blocks of the business canvas. So we
Yes.
work with the entrepreneurs to build that business canvas, and based on that, then they start operating and then start their work. So that's the tier 1.
Yes.
Tier 2 is when you are already in the business for about 2-3 years, and you are facing some challenges
Yeah.
in growth. It could be in any area of your business. It could be internal processes, it could be business strategy, it could be sales, marketing, or even branding to a certain extent, operations,
Yeah.
human resource. So at that level, you are not a big organization, but then with 5 to 10 people or up to 15 people, but then everybody is doing their own jobs, which is assigned by the owner or the business owner. And then what happens is, now they want to expand. They need to formalize processes, policies, procedures, governance model,
Yeah.
who will be responsible, the authority matrices, and then so on. So we help them to build that basically structure for them to be able to perform efficiently, without errors, and with more profitability. So that's tier 2.
Yeah.
Tier 3 is where you have reached to a stage of, let's say, 15-20 years of an experience, and the organization wants to adopt the best practices in the industry
Yeah.
or in the market for any specific reason in a specific area of the business, and they want to become the leaders in that area.
Yeah.
It may be very well within a certain regional aspect, or even in a certain scope of activity,
Yeah.
that they want to become the best, or they want to adopt the best practices so they can benefit from the experiences which others have basically gained, and then learn from those things and then adopt them. So that's the third tier.
Yeah.
But my personal focus, or let's say my personal interest, is in the tier 1 and 2.
Yes.
Reason being, because at tier 3, the organizations can hire experts
Yeah.
and they can pay them.
Yeah.
They can pay them heavy. It's not that I don't want to be paid heavy. I want to be paid heavy. But then
Right.
I know that there is a need at tier 1 and 2 where they cannot afford high paid or expensive consultants and advisors.
Yeah.
Because when they come in with their baggage of experience. So of course they have a certain value to be accepted.
Yeah.
But then when you look at these 2 tiers down, the startups and SMEs, they do not have enough funding to spend on something which is probably, it is essential, but then probably not a preference at that time.
Yeah.
So we serve them within the scope and capacity and affordability of the 2 tiers. So
Yes.
startup, of course, when they have a budget, they have a very limited budget. When you are an SME or a let's say function which is working for 2-3 years,
Yeah.
they do have some funds rolling, but then not enough for them to spare as a bulk. So we
Yeah.
work them on. So the solution what we have advised them, or we help them with, is a retainers package,
Yes.
where they pay us on the monthly or let's say installments, in a way
All right.
that it doesn't put a burden on them,
Yeah.
but then they adopt those things on a sequential way
Yeah.
and manner,
Flexibility
and then
will
get
be-
benefit from there also. Yeah.
That's great. So started from tier 1, structure, and then strategy and effort with their purpose, and also like a flexibility for
Yeah.
the payment as well.
True.
So good for the entrepreneur also to start. No burden for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
what the startups and SMEs are looking for.
Yeah, excited. So exciting for that. So like from your like a prospect, how important is it for the first startup with then SME to adopt, and then clear business plan or strategy early on, sir?
Okay. I'll give you a simple understanding. We want our child to, let's say, become educated, become a
Yes.
doctor or whatever. So what do? we put them to school first.
Of course, yeah.
And what does the school teaches us? The basic structure of your language, alphabets, maybe numerics, and then addition, subtraction. So that's basically the basics or the structure of your education.
Yes.
For you to grow on these blocks,
Yes.
where you have learned the basics, you have learned what they are, what they mean, and how do they basically give you the results.
Yes.
So all this is the basic and structure of any development or growth model.
Yes.
Okay. So for a business also, you have to have those 9 blocks of the canvas where you talk about your customers, you talk about your products, you talk about your marketing, branding, you talk about your suppliers, you talk about your internal processes, and all these are very, very, very necessary. Now, unfortunately, because people are not aware of it,
Yeah.
or people are not being taught on business models
Yeah.
at that level of schooling, or let's say even at college, an MBA will
Yes.
talk about everything else, but
Yes.
never talk about the building blocks.
Exactly.
So those building blocks are like the construction of the foundation of your business.
Yes.
If you do not have it, you will eventually feel the pain. You will struggle the compliance. You will definitely have challenges in adopting the changes in the market, and then also you will face challenges within your own people, because based on the, let's say, timely or ad hoc system, you just hire somebody for the need of it, and then
Yeah.
eventually that person comes and does the work but does not add value into your business or the setup. So it's very necessary for any business or any startup. You have to start with that strong foundation. Then it's easy for you to grow over the period of time.
I like it, sir. Strong foundation to
Has to
start.
be. Oh.
And last time the events you shared about the 9 building blocks
Yes,
also
yes.
is amazing, very useful and powerful,
Yes.
sir. So like what are some of the key benefits you seem like one company like a deployment for their business plan and then early stage debt. So what are these, sir?
Okay. So when you are doing these 9 blocks, there is one element called business risk.
Yeah.
And there is another element called the projections.
Yeah.
So we work on the projections and the risks which could be, let's say, potential for the business, and the business can face those. Simple example recently everybody faced was the COVID, but
Yeah.
nobody was ready for the COVID.
Exactly.
Some of the big organizations, they were anticipating some, let's say, catastrophic scenarios. So based
Yeah.
on that, they had prepared their contingency plan, or we call that recovery plan.
Yeah.
And so when you develop these foundations or the building blocks, you are looking at the risk factor of it. Now, risk factor could include financial as well. It
Yeah.
includes humanitarian aspect of it, or the HR part of it. It could look into the operational side of
Yeah.
it, functionality,
Fashion.
your business, let's say, growth,
Yeah.
the customer, and even the scenario where you are not able to perform as a business owner, then there has to be somebody to basically take the functions along and then move forward and then stuff. So all these things are part of that risk assessment. If the business has the 9 blocks: business plan, strategy, and the risk management, which is actually an intensive job,
Yeah.
then whenever you face a challenge, you already know what path to take to
Yeah.
resolve that challenge and achieve the result what you intended. So let's say, for example, you're going from here to take Barsha. So from here to Barsha, you have got 2 different or 3 different ways to reach.
Yeah.
You can go through Al Khail Road, you can go through the normal Sheikh Zayed Road,
Yeah.
or you can take 311.
Yes.
And that is bypassing the city. So let's say if you go onto one road and suddenly Google Map tells that
Correct.
there is an accident or there are multiple
Yeah,
accidents,
yes.
the road is blocked, you have a delay of 30
Yes,
minutes.
some colon.
What will you
So,
do?
yeah.
You will find the nearest exit and then take a route
Take a route.
around that and then bypass that.
Yeah.
But then if you do not have a GPS and you don't know there is an accident,
Yes.
what will you do? You'll get stuck there. So
That's
this
true.
is kind of a GPS for your business, for you to anticipate that, okay, this could happen. And if this happens, what is the best course of action for me to avoid or bypass and then reach my destination?
Brilliant answer and the example with the GPS. It's very powerful as well. And so, like many entrepreneur, they might worry about the cost and also like when they started the time and cost management, and also like they having a solid business plan or like a strategy. They may think like expensive,
Yeah.
and then how much afford that. Usually they have to be taken to maintain one.
Yep.
So any solutions, sir,
Oh,
you
yes.
might give in. Yeah.
So there is always a solution and there is always a story behind the solution.
Yes.
Nowadays, if you have a family doctor, he will tell you to maintain your health.
Yes.
And if in case there is something which is kind of chronic, like for example, I mean, God forbid, everybody be safe. You have diabetes, you have heart conditions, you have got other illnesses and stuff. And then what they tell you is to maintain yourself and then have medication or certain treatment which can avoid a catastrophic event or a bigger, let's say, problem. It's simple.
Yeah.
If you don't, eventually you'll have to, unfortunately, reach that place where you are bound to spend
Yes.
on a bigger treatment. Then it's a life and death issue.
Sure.
I'm not suggesting that your business is like that, but then I have seen scenarios where businesses have reached to a point where the business owner says, I cannot take any further, I want to sell the business.
Yeah.
And at that time, because he's in vulnerable scenario, his business is having challenges, the selling price or the people who are buying will always push him down and try to take the advantage. Now consider that you have been maintaining your business through an advice or a professional, let's say, services, and every time there is a need or requirement, you have done it according to the best practices.
Yes.
And you have resolved the issue by adopting certain methodology, certain technique, or a certain guideline.
Yeah.
And it's already fixed. So what it avoids is a future catastrophic scenario. The people do not have these structures or do not have the policies or do not have the governance model. What happens is, on the ad hoc basis, one small mistake could lead to a disaster.
Yeah.
And that disaster will cost you, and that cost will be very high. In some cases, it has closed down the organizations or the companies because of the penalties, because of the liabilities they had to pay, and the fines or damages which occurred due to that. Because sometimes you are related to a third party, and that third party has a liability on themselves, and then it's like a dominoes effect. So each one who is involved in that activity or a third party, the customer will penalize them.
Yeah.
So eventually what happens is, you are the one who has to pay.
Pay.
For example, if there is a fire in an in a shop or a outlet and there is no insurance, who bears?
Have to pay all.
There you go. And then you have to put the damages for the building maintenance also.
Yeah.
The recovery, the damages to the building and the flat and whatever. So it's not only the stuff what you had, which you lost. You lost on top of it, you have to recover the premises also. Plus, there is no return back from the, let's say, damages and all. And then you didn't have insurance, so there is no coverage also.
Yeah.
So the loss is much more. Rather than paying a small premium of insurance
Yeah.
monthly or yearly, which will safeguard a scenario which comes up at a stage, unfortunately, God forbidden, if it happens, then you're safe.
Yes.
At least you and the third party both are safe and secure. Business is the same thing. If you do not take this as a priority, what happens is you keep running. So your business might run. It might probably progress also. But once it reaches that point where there is a scenario and you do not have the insurance part of it, or you do not have a business plan written down in a way that in this scenario, this action should be taken. You might end up doing something immediate and what do you call that? Abrupt.
Yeah.
That might lead to a scenario where you will fall into a trap and then you will lose. So the suggestion to all the business owners, or let's say the investors in this case also, is to make sure that the organization has a proper business plan, strategy, model, and they have the whole business is constructed on a solid foundation with all the information, risk in place, mitigation in place, and then securing the investment as well.
It's all the solution are the very brilliant and also very powerful and peace of mind. And so finally, I would like to ask for the last question. If our listener and then who want to learn more and more about to you and reach out to you, what is the best way to contact to you, sir?
Okay. The best way is that there will be a QR code, and that will be shared at the end or on the screen, and that can be sort of shared with everybody else, and then they can reach us through that. It will include all the information of WhatsApp, email, and social media and all. And one more thing, because we are at the platform of Media Waves and Me to Connect, once your listeners or the people who come through your network will definitely have an advantage and a certain special concessions on the services which they require. So we can discuss probably later. However, but there will be definitely some special concessions for Me to Connect and MediaWave.
That sounds interesting, sir. Thank you so much. So we will be reaching out to you, the Advantix PQC, and then Mr. Adif.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. So nice of you for having me here, and it was a pleasure discussing and talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward. Thank you.
Looking.